My coverage of Computex 2016 is proudly sponsored by Fractal Design, MSI, and G-Skill. Well, we're at Cooler Master.
Yes, we are.
They have too much stuff here. And I'm not even including all this maker stuff that they have.
Hey, give me a head scratch, Paul. Give me a head scratch. Getting a little itchy. Ah, yeah, that feels good.
That's great. See?
Did your nails get longer?
Yeah, you know, my manicurist. It's amazing.
He is.
All right, so obviously there's two really cool things that we both want to talk about here. There's the Master Concept 2.
And there's a really adorable, cute little hybrid cooler.
Yeah, so we both want to talk about that, but I think there's too much for us to both cover otherwise. So how about this?
We'll split?
We'll split it up. I'm gonna handle the cases.
Okay.
I'll take the power supplies.
All right. I'll do the coolers, the fans, and perhaps some of the peripherals.
And like the keyboards and stuff.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, let's
I like
go.
That. Okay, cool. Wait. First off. This little guy has something to say. What do you have to say, little guy?
I hate you, Paul.
Wow. His words, not mine.
That's uncalled for.
His words. Why don't you hit record? Why don't you stop recording?
What?
Why don't you stop recording with your... What's wrong? What's going on, Paul? What's wrong? Why can't you... What happened?
It's too...
You're no longer...
I did it.
Useless.
So we actually saw the Master Concept last year in its version 1, but I wasn't able to show anyone. It was over here under like a big sheet, and they're like, hey, look at this thing, it's really cool, you can't show anyone. I was mad. But this is actually, well, we can show you at least the outside of the Master Concept. Now the weird thing about this is that you'll see this massive case right here, larger, in fact, than the Cosmos 2. And then if you see this case over here, which is quite a bit diminutive, those are both like the same case. They're not the same case, but what they're going for here is complete modularity. So again, we can't show you the inside. There's still some like stuff they're working on. You know, they don't want any trade secrets leaking out. But you've got removable modular panels right up here, all the way across the top. If you open that up, there's a motherboard tray that's in there, but it can be shifted and moved around pretty much wherever you want. Everything's on rails. There were no rivets that I saw, so pretty much anything can just be shifted and moved and put in different places, or you can sort of bring down the chassis size down to something like this, and this is actually featuring a mini ITX version of the motherboard tray that was in there. And they already even showed us how these little pieces right here, you can just pop them off from one, bring it over, and put it back on the other one. Again, guys, this is just stuff they're working on, their ideas. They've done a lot with this, I think, since last year, and it still has a little bit of a ways to go, since obviously we can't show you the insides. But I think it's a pretty interesting concept. And for anyone who likes cases that are the size of a small car, well, this is probably going to be the case for you. Moving on to cases you can actually buy. Available in Q3 is going to be the Mastercase Pro 3. So they got 357. 5's the one that's already out. 5's kind of a full-size case. This is a micro ATX case. This being the Pro, it's going to be coming with a clear side panel window, of course. And this one, of course, is outfitted with an entire system inside. This is actually Dylan Ho's Mastercase Pro 3. It's outfitted by him. It's got like the Cooler Master little graphics card support guy in there. It's of course still got the modular system for all the drive trays that you can pop in there. And it's micro ATX. I really like micro ATX as a form factor. It's not quite as restricting as mini ITX. Gives you a little bit more expandability for graphics cards. So you can see they got a two-way SLI configuration going on right there. Although there's no SLI bridges on there. He must be using that for GPU compute or something like that. Anyway, the other thing that's inside here that we already kind of mentioned is this really interesting little cooler. It's actually like a hybrid. It's got liquid going in there, also a fan, and it's all in this one little unit. So it's a 92 millimeter fan and a very small 92 millimeter radiator. And look what was just handed to me. This is perfect. So we were actually pretty excited about this thing. So here you can see it in kind of a vertical orientation. The block or the plate is down there at the bottom. Just a couple little tubes going up to the tiny little radiator. And if you want something that's going to fit in a smaller form factor case, or if you just don't want to route a bunch of stuff over to a big radiator or that kind of thing, it's going to be a very interesting little product. We were surprised at this. So it doesn't have a name yet though. So if you guys think of a cool name for this product, leave that in the comments section. Here's an exciting case. This is the Pro 7. So actually, no, I'm sorry. This is the Maker 7. Remember with Cooler Master, they have this new naming convention. So you either have a Mastercase or whatever, then you got the Pro, then you got the Maker. Maker's at the top end. So this one is outfitted with a tempered glass side panel here. It's got a lower chamber here for radiators. It's got plenty of room in there, massive drive support right here. And it's even got a removable panel up on top So you can just pop that off if you want a little bit less noise. Pop it on, a little bit more airflow. You remove it, just like that. Of course, it's got all the modular features of the Master Series, so it's going to be compatible with all of the accessories that are already for sale on this Cooler Master store, CM store. And they're also starting to get those accessories now out to other retailers such as Amazon and Newegg. So we'll be seeing those available. So you have like, replaceable front panels and other drive trays you can integrate there that GPU support as well. We do not have a price point for the Maker 7, but they're planning to actually launch it, make it available for sale CES in 2017. Now, you've already seen the odd-numbered Mastercase series. Well, now we have the even-numbered Mastercase series. So these are a little bit more subdued as far as the maybe industrial design goes, but they're geared a little bit more towards silence for one. So this one, for instance, has a little bit more protective panels up in front. Perhaps, slightly more restricted airflow, but you got to balance that out with the sound design. Still some gaps in there in the front. You can pop that little panel up on top, and you get your connectivity for USB 2.0, USB 3.0. They even have a USB Type-C connector on there, which I love. You get the clear side panel there, and then they've done a unique thing here on the back as well, just trying to keep things nice and clean, especially maybe if you're in an office environment or you just like to have a clean workspace. Routing the cabling out of the back of your case can often be a challenge, so they're working with this mesh that they have here, and they actually showed us some of it like that. So it's basically flexible, and you can sort of pop little gaps in it to route your cables through, so you can group them all up and route them out through a specific port or that kind of thing. Now, obviously, the different versions of these might be made in the Pro or Maker form, but right now we have the 4 right here, and then we have the slightly larger 6. Now, Cooler Master in many ways is all about design, and they wanted to go with the sort of cleaner design for the Mastercase series, but they also wanted to give people a little bit more edge if that's what you're into. So they've decided that when they add a T on the end of a product name, it's going to be edgier. It's also going to have colors. So they're working on the color right now. They're going to develop a specific color, and they're going to stick with it for this. So they're going with sort of a darker, more subdued red, which actually has a pretty cool look. And then if you compare these two cases side by side, you can just see it's a little bit more angled. It's a little bit more aggressive. It's a little bit more svelte back here. Has this sort of back. It's got like a spoiler kind of on the back there a little bit. And they've also added a handle up on top, which is kind of a throwback to like the CM Storm Striker, for example, which I really like because it's really convenient to just be able to pick up a case and move it around. But it also looks pretty cool. So there it is, and let me know what you guys think, because again, this is still in development, if I'm not mistaken. Do we know when this might be coming out? No. All right, we have no ETA on this, but I think it looks pretty cool. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I really quickly wanted to show you guys these frames of the cases, because they're sort of showing us how, as you go up in scale when it comes to the different cases they're designing, you're basically getting more and more options as far as modularity and sort of recustomizing your case to make it more your own. So this right here is sort of the base frame for the Mastercase. Then you move it up to the Mastercase Maker, and then you move it up all the way to the 7 right here, which is basically just a big aluminum frame, which gives you limitless possibilities. There's some CPU heatsink fans right there, but Kyle's covering those, of course. We'll let him deal with that. What I'm going to talk about is these power supplies. So again, we're looking at sort of a unification of Cooler Masters. So I keep saying Master first. Cooler Masters naming conventions. So Master Watt Maker, Master Watt Pro, Master Watt, and Master Watt Lite. So you'll notice no Pro, that's in the middle, Maker's at the top. Also, they've added some light products, so those are going to be a little bit more budget oriented. So this power supply, for instance, not 80 plus rated, but it's going to be very affordable, no modular cabling. We got moving up to the Master Watt. This one is significantly heavier. It's got partial modularity, and it features 80 plus bronze support, or efficiency rating, I should say. The Master Watt Pro gets a little bit heavier, gives you full modularity. These are only 150 millimeters long, so keeping the distance from the back of the case to where the power supply ends. It's a weird way of saying that. But yeah, keeping it short means that especially in smaller form factor cases, you're going to be able to fit these. Cooler Master has also now been using their own fans across this entire series, so that helps them tune the fan speed a little bit more, keep a bit more consistency. At the top end, we kind of teased this a little bit at CES this year. This is the Master Watt Maker, and it's insanely heavy. So they have the higher amperage plugs on this one, not only in the plug on the back, but also they've custom designed their own modular plugs there. So again, providing higher amperage, so if you're having possible over voltage, over current issues, it's either going to be able to handle those, of course, trip the protections that are built into the power supply. This is a 1200 watt power supply. This one has 2 rails, and it also features digital support. Oh my gosh, it's heavy. Heavy is good in a power supply, by the way. So they've also have an app right here that you can use. You can do different configurations, silence. You can do a gaming setting. You can do an overclock setting that will just ramp up everything. Probably give you max fan speed. And you can even go in there and dynamically set up a stepping for the fan ramp speed. So as the temperature goes up, the fan goes up more. So you can give yourself a quieter experience or a cooler experience. It even has a thing where you can plug in how much money, like your power costs in your local area, and it will tell you how much money your computer is costing you to run, which that's pretty convenient. Anyway, guys, that's all for the Cooler Master booth. I hope you've enjoyed this. Stay tuned for more coverage from Computex 2016. And one last final thanks to my sponsors, Fractal Design, MSI, and G-Skill. See you guys in the next video.